This is why you should not do the Badril challenge. This is 15-year-old Chloe Marie Phillips, and she was from Oklahoma. She was a fan of music, video games, and making friends. On August 21st of 2020, Chloe's life was cut short when she decided to do the Badril challenge. This challenge consisted of ingesting 12 Badril pills to get a hallucination effect. Many would record this and then post it on their TikTok account. Badril is used to fight allergies, and taking too much of it can cause hallucinations, seizures, heart problems, and even death. Unfortunately, since Chloe did this challenge, she passed away and suffered from cardiac arrest. Unfortunately, Chloe is not the only one who has participated in this challenge. 3 teens living in Fort Worth, Texas had been rushed to the hospital after taking Badril in large amounts. Luckily, those teens recovered, but sadly, that could have not been the case. Chloe's family was devastated once they heard the news about what had happened to her, and her aunt wanted to alert other families about the dangers of these challenges. Remember, just because you see other people doing this does not mean you should be doing this as well.
These are scary cartoon truths that would terrify you, part 12. Okay, so Talking Angela started as a mobile phone app for a lot of children. Angela is a white cat with blue eyes who has conversations with you and could answer any question you ask. But recently, Talking Angela turned into an app to spy on young children. It is said the app was taken over by a creepy man or a very creepy group. It's said that if you're over 18, nothing happens, but if you're younger than that, the cat will then start asking you very weird questions, like where do you live, what is your name, and what are your parents' names. The creepy man or group are able to take pictures of you through your own phone. Also, if you zoom in on Angela's eye, you can see a man watching you. And if that's not scary enough, a young boy named Eli went missing shortly after downloading the app, and he was never found.
This is why you should never go to the bathroom during the middle of the night. In 1997, a 7-year-old boy and his younger brother had a habit of using the bathroom during the middle of the night. One day, the younger brother said that he was going to start using the bathroom before bed because the past few nights he'd seen a ghost wearing stripes in the middle of the hallway. The older brother told his mom about the ghost, but she claimed that the younger brother was simply trying to scare him. 11 years later, the older boy's mother asked him if he remembered the time that the cops came to the door, but he had no idea what she was talking about. The mother then explained, "You were too young for me to tell you, but one night I woke up and heard noises coming from outside my window. I looked to my left and saw a man staring into my window. She called the cops and described him as a thin white male wearing a striped shirt. Her description matched that of a murderer who had recently escaped from prison. The police reported that he had been living in the house for weeks."
This is the most dangerous animal on Earth. Many people think that the hippopotamus is just a cute African animal. But what many people don't know is that this animal is one of the most deadly animals on the planet. Weighing up to 2 tons, hippos kill more people on a yearly basis than lions and all sharks combined. And in this year alone, hippos caused the death of over 500 people. On land, hippos can reach speeds of up to 20 miles an hour. But in the water, hippos actually can't swim. Instead, they quite literally run on the underwater ground and push off the floor, launching them out of water to gain speed like this. Hippos are known to chase boats, as seen in this video, and that looks absolutely terrifying.
This TikToker was found dead on the road. Alexis Sharkey was known for doing videos on TikTok. A few days ago, her husband, who she did videos with, called her mom and said she went missing. Alexis was then found on the side of the road naked and dead. A lot of people believe her husband did it because they were going through marital problems and soon about to divorce. Even her friends believe so.
I looked at her and I was like, she's petrified. This girl is scared for her life.
Her husband denies any wrongdoing. One time she even jokingly put up a video saying her husband is capable of killing somebody. What do you think? Comment below.
Scary facts to keep you up at night. The average person walks past 36 murders in their lifetime. Over 50% of commercial pilots have admitted to falling asleep while flying a plane. A human head remains conscious for around 20 seconds after being decapitated.
There was a group of animals so disgusting that not only did they traumatize a researcher, all of his studies about them had to be hidden from the public. British explorer George Levick literally messed around and found out when he joined an Antarctica expedition in 1911. That's when he came across a colony of Adelie penguins, and he decided to stay and observe them for an entire breeding season. He would regret that, because he found out that Adelie penguins are 50 shades of morally bankrupt. He watched in shock as the male penguins would attempt to mate with literally anything. This included other males, females too injured to resist, and he even witnessed them make moves on unaccompanied and very much underage chicks. It was so vile that in his journals, George referred to them as hooligan cocks. It didn't stop there, in fact it got worse. There were multiple cases where George watched a down bad bird score with a decomposing corpse, like to the point where males were fighting over it. Because apparently not having a pulse doesn't mean you're off the table. And just to see how far they'd go, he took the frozen head of a decapitated female and propped it against a mound of ice. The answer was far enough. And in one down egregious case, a male mated with the ground to completion. He also learned that if male Adelies understood the signs that a female wants to mate, they could not care less about it. In one case, a female was so crippled that she couldn't even walk, she could only painfully crawl on her belly. The male walked up to the handicapped female, and in 60 seconds he managed to destroy everything George thought he knew about them. He wrote down every messed up thing he had learned, but because the contents of his research were so graphically descriptive, the British Museum of Natural History refused to publish it and vaulted it. It was finally published almost 100 years later, meaning man's got traumatized in every way and didn't even live long enough to see his work get recognized. Oh, but the worst part? These guys are Adelie penguins. And you can probably guess who the light work is.
Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. If you're talking to somebody at a party and you want their number, you can just straight up ask for it, that's fine. But if you want to be guaranteed to get it, take a picture with them and then ask or offer to send it. If you're having a conversation with a girl and you want her to be comfortable or think that it's going well, make sure that you face her like this. But if you're talking to a guy and you want him to be happy with the conversation, talk to him from the side like this. And if you're aware and make note of this next time you're in an argument with a partner or a friend, I promise it's going to say way more civil and productive. Before you answer any phone call, smile. You're going to sound way happier to the person on the other end, and the talk is going to go way better than if you just say hello with a straight face.
Photos with disturbing backstories.
Ho ho ho! Diver taking a picture of his wife during a dive off the Australian coast. Dead body of murder victim Tina Watson. A few minutes before that photo, her husband turned off her air supply and held her underwater until she drowned. He then went up to the surface and told the other divers she was in trouble, and you can see someone else swimming to try and save her. The last known image of pregnant Shannon Watts. Just a few hours later she, as well as her two daughters, aged just 3 and 4, would be dead, murdered by her husband Chris Watts. Also he could start a new life with a woman he was cheating on her with. Father poses with daughter at her graduation. Father, Dennis Rader, also known as the BTK killer, had killed 10 people over the span of about 25 years.
Let's talk about this creepy video that's going absolutely viral on TikTok right now. The Appalachian Mountains video. So many of you guys were sending me the link to this video and I made the mistake of watching it at night. So let's break it down. The video was posted on March 19th by user Dustin Lee Frazier, and it's already at 17.6 million views and 1.9 million likes. And everybody in the comments is terrified. And in the video, Justin describes that they were Snapchatting their friend as they were at work alone in the Appalachian Mountains. But they say that when they replayed their Snapchat video, they found something terrifying. Like, let me just show you a little clip of it and then we're gonna break it down, okay? Here it is.
I felt bad. Honestly, it's less like a little bit. I felt bad. And I don't know. I just, like, I feel like I need to go to a doctor, but like I'm constantly just like nauseous and I don't really know why. Like, I have tried to like take medicine for it and stuff, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it really does anything. And then whenever I go and I'm just like laying down and stuff, like I can sleep, and whenever I sleep, it's like I don't like get rest, you know what I mean?
So if you didn't catch it, it's this face right here. But aside from that terrifying face, people also mentioned that they heard whispering. People believe that it's a SW. Reading the comments right now, and someone said, pretty sure it's attached to you, like no joke. Listen, Dustin, I don't know if you're playing a prank on us, but this isn't funny, okay? I don't want to believe that there can be beings like that. But what do you guys think? Is this real? Is this fake? Let me know.
This story will break your heart, and it just happened. This swan had recently laid eggs. She had just became a mother. A group of heartless boys at the Manchester Canal threw a whole bunch of rocks and bricks at her nest. They did this over and over again, all the way until she only had one egg left. The swan soon died from a broken heart.
This story will make you cry. One day, a boy and his girlfriend were driving to their favorite park, but while driving, the boy felt something was off. So he asked his girlfriend if everything was alright. At first, the girl said nothing, but eventually she confessed, and she told him her feelings had changed for him, and that she was considering moving on. So the boy pulled over safely and tried to understand the girl. That's when she told him that he worked too much, and while he was working, she was seeing someone else. So she just left the car and started walking. But the boy just sat there as a tear slid down his cheek. And as the girl was leaving, that's when she noticed the boy was reading something. But she didn't know why, so she started getting closer. And as she was getting closer, a truck hit the car, killing the boy instantly. It turns out on that day, the boy was driving to the place they first met to propose to her. And the note he was reading said, "Without your love, I would die."
So I'm obsessed with the dark side of Disney. And did you know there's a horrible period of accidents at Disneyland that doesn't really get talked about a lot? It's been referred to as the Disney Dark Ages. It was from 1997 to 2003 when this guy, Paul Pressler, was the president of Disneyland. Paul basically decided they were no longer going to do scheduled maintenance on rides. They were only going to fix rides when they were broken. Did it save money? Sure, but this resulted in some of the worst accidents the park had ever seen. One of the worst being that of Brandon Zucker. In 2001, Brandon Zucker was on the Roger Rabbit ride, which was already having maintenance issues. An employee put Brandon on the wrong side of the car, and when he put the lap band down, it didn't close all the way. So at one point in the ride, Brandon tumbled out of his seat and was hit by an oncoming car. The car pinned him and dragged him down the track before anyone could do anything. Also, at the time, Disney employees were not allowed to call 911. They had to call park emergency services, who then called 911, so it took a while for anyone to come get Brandon. He did survive the accident, but he had brain damage so bad he was nonverbal and lost a lot of motor skills for the rest of his life. And eventually he passed away at 13 years old.
These are actors who have their own tragic backstories, part 1. Up first is Mark Ruffalo. He is known for playing Dr. Bruce Banner and the Hulk in the MCU, but did you know in 2002 he had a benign brain tumor removed which left his face temporarily paralyzed. Then on December 1st, 2008, his brother Scott was shot in the head and killed at his home in LA, and the only key witness in the house at the time died of an overdose, and the case still remains unsolved. Next up is Paul Bettany, who's known for playing Vision. And when he was 16 years old, his younger brother died at the age of 8 in a freak accident that fractured his skull. Paul then turned to alcohol and drugs to self-medicate himself through the painful loss. This is extremely sad, and it's just another example that you really have no idea what people been through.
This is what we know about the awful case of 16-year-old Shelby Benny. Shelby was a cheerleader at Bixby High School, and on Thursday night, her family was on their way home with her dad behind the wheel. He had reportedly been drinking, and according to her mom, they were also having a heated argument up in the front seats. At 70 miles per hour, he tried to pass another vehicle in a no-passing zone, and their SUV flipped. As we know, Shelby was tragically ejected from her family's vehicle on impact. A bystander immediately ran over to the scene, but there aren't even words for what happened next. Shelby's father was reportedly standing disoriented just outside of the crashed car, and when asked if anyone was hurt, he ran away. He left his 16-year-old daughter there to die on the pavement. Now, according to police, they were able to determine that Elliot had fled to a local family-owned business, and it was there that he got access to another car. They were able to electronically track that vehicle, and within 12 hours, they found him behind the wheel in a town about an hour away. It was obviously too late to give him a DUI test, but he was taken into custody. With Elliot's arrest, we know that while he tried to tell police he skidded on an oil spot, he's also admitted to taking a few swigs of the vodka bottle that was found in the front seat. Today, Elliot is charged with first-degree manslaughter, but he has already posted his $100,000 bail. And as for Shelby's mom and her siblings, again, unfortunately, we don't know how they're doing now. Shelby is described as a bright light with a heart of gold and the best teammate you could ask for. If you would like to support her family during this time, the link will be in my bio.
More absolutely tragic and just heartbreaking updates in the Meline Sto case. Remember when that absolute monster Steven Stern said, "Oh, my phone accidentally did a factory reset"? Well, first off, no it didn't, dumbass. Second off, this monster allegedly was using apps to live stream while he was essaying Meline. Oh, and it gets worse, y'all. Apparently he was using Telegram to send pictures and videos to just other people, random other people, and his phone activity using Telegram the night she went missing. Y'all. Now, obviously, we know that Steven claims that he dropped Meline off at school the next day, but unfortunately, what really happened, we don't know just yet. Oh, and also now her mom, Jennifer Soto, is also considered to be a suspect, and we all kind of had a feeling for that when we watched this interview when she was smiling and stuff. Remember that? Yeah, crazy as hell. So let me know what you think about this one down in the comments. Make sure you leave a like, follow for more true crime, and most importantly, rest in peace, Meline Sto.
There's so much you don't know about me.
Like what, are you axe murderer?
Worse.
Worse?
True. The TikTok famous former police chief that you just saw in that video is a pedophile. And yeah, like the video said, we didn't know a lot about him, and I really wish I didn't know as much as I do now. So this is Joel Justice Womachill. He was 38 years old at the time that this happened. And in October of 2023, he had around 218,000 followers here on TikTok. But then some disturbing details came to light about the police chief. You see, it turned out that he was behind this anonymous account on Twitter, or X. His bio read, 38 white male looking for that special girl that was raised right and wants to continue the tradition. Well, according to federal authorities, that man who ran that account, who was the police chief of this department in Kansas, was swapping real incest videos on that account. And yes, that is already extremely disturbing, but it gets even worse. You see, it was also revealed that Joel had a significant collection of CP or CSAM, child porn. Tons of videos and photos, and he was swapping that online with other pedophiles as well. I mean, how unbelievably creepy that this is a police chief and his hidden profile literally says "Hello Kids" at the top. So he was eventually charged with 24 counts of schmexual exploitation of a child and 10 counts of aggravated trading of internet child pornography. And yeah, it makes all of his TikTok videos take on a very eerie, ominous tone, especially this video that I started my video with, where he talks about the things that you don't know about him, his dark secrets. If you want to listen to more true crime content, check out the podcast that my wife and I co-host, Murder in America. It's available on all streaming platforms.
This young man got ran over by a train and lost both of his legs. In 2017, Jacob Ohl lost both of his legs below the knee when he was run over by a train in Lubbock. Jacob was walking along the train tracks with earbuds on March 2nd when he sensed but didn't hear a train approaching behind him. Jacob's lawsuit also claims that the CSX train did not have properly functioning front-facing cameras, preventing the train's engineer and conductor from seeing Jacob in time to avoid hitting him. The CSX company also did not put up fencing or any other warning devices to keep pedestrians at a safe distance from the tracks. Jacob was also at least 1,000 feet away from the train when the conductor first saw him, but they did not ring the train's bell, blow the train's horn, or apply the emergency brake before hitting Jacob. It also took a half a mile for the train to completely stop after hitting Jacob. Now, what I'm about to show you is the 911 call Jacob made right after getting hit by the train. And keep in mind, he just lost both of his legs. They were literally amputated from his body from the train. And just listen to how calm he's talking. It's like he didn't even get hit by a train.
911, what's the location of your emergency? I just got hit by a train. Okay, where are you? walking or were you driving?
No, I was walking.
Okay. But you're okay? Like, you sound like you're...
No.
Okay, are you still on the tracks?
No.
Is there anybody around you that you can
I don't
flag down?
No.
Okay. Hold on a second. I'm going to try and figure out where you are, okay?